What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, I want to talk about Anthony Joshua versus Oleksander Usyk. I've seen training videos of both guys. I've seen photos along with the training videos. Um, Not interested in photos. I'm watching the training videos, and people are making comparisons. Now, a lot of times you don't know you don't know if a picture's old. You don't know how old the picture is. Certain videos I've seen people put up certain training videos of different fighters, and I know it was an old video. Sometimes you don't know. Now, I've heard rumors that he's coming in Usyk at 235. Listen, when I saw Usyk's training video, I'm looking at him like he's probably around 212, 215. That's what he looks like to me. The video, the photos of him, they're like, he's bulking up, and he listen, it would only make sense for Usyk to put on that much weight if he's going to change his style. The only way that makes any logical sense, if he's going to change his style and he wants to be more maybe lateral movement but less dancing and moving, where he could try to absorb, have enough mass on his body to absorb the body shots from AJ. I could see if he was trying to build his neck up more, to be able to, take a better shot. And Usyk has always shown a sturdy beard. He took some shots from Chisora. He, had a sturdy beard, at cruiserweight. Usyk, he's not a big puncher, so putting on body mass would slow him down even more. That would slow him down. It's not going to help him. It's not going to give him more punching power. And I mean, there's techniques, there's ways you can train to throw punches certain ways where you can get better snap on your shots. Yes, it is. Old school trainers will say either you're a puncher or you're not. That might have been true before people realized and found out other ways to increase that. But at the end of the day, Usyk, he relies on movement and combination punching, speed. He doesn't have Andy Ruiz type hand speed, but then again, at heavyweight nobody does. So when people are saying, he's gonna do this and that, and well, adding that much weight would take that away from him. That's why AJ's trying to trim down and do so much cardio, because AJ wants to be able to fight for 12 rounds, knowing that Usyk, if it comes to AJ throwing more punches, putting combinations together, being more active, that would make more sense. AJ's not going to lose any power. You have two technically sound fighters. AJ's not a big volume puncher. He's very careful. He sets you up. He counters, very well. He's good on the inside as well. So it was a different fight against Ruiz. He did what he had to do in the rematch. So he knows he can stalk you, or he can get on the back foot if he needs to. Now for AJ, same thing. For him, he can punch. So losing weight is not gonna harm him. It's not so much he wants to be, like he's gonna gain super speed. No, but what it would do is, if he's pumping that cardio and getting himself in that type of condition where I can increase my punch output, I can go in there, and I honestly think he should put it like this: whatever game plan he comes up with to fight Usyk, that's going to be his game plan. Me personally, watching the both of them fight, I feel like if an AJ fight like a heavyweight, if he goes in there, I would have him doing double, triple jabs. Sidestepping, jabbing, moving, not letting Usyk get comfortable, and I'd back him up. I'd walk him down, I'd back him up, I'd keep that jab in his face, I jab to his body. If I'm taking a step back, I'm jabbing. If I'm going forward, I'm jabbing. I'm stepping to the side, jabbing, moving, bam, catching him, keeping him off balance, keeping him offset, not letting him get in the rhythm. See, Usyk moves, and when he's ready to punch, he'll jab and he'll jump in, try to throw these, quick combinations, and he often runs into shots. And see, for AJ to be as strong as he is, as big as he is, there's no need for AJ to fight on the back foot against Usyk. And one thing I can guarantee you, and I don't use that term. I don't even like to use that term really. But I guarantee you, Ruiz has way more punching power than Oleksander Usyk does. So, and hand speed. So it was a difficult thing. AJ always said it was difficult fighting small. He had the harder fighters for him to fight was the shorter guys. So Usyk is 6'3". And this, it's only a three inch difference. So it's not like we're talking about 6'1", 6 feet, 5'11". Either way, I would have him. I just told y'all what I would have him do. Like I said, I would mix it up, not be, don't become complacent with doing the same things over and over. Don't be predictable. And I would bully him when I get in. I'd walk him back. I make him use his energy. I lean my weight on him. I do all of those things. AJ is no reason why he can't do that. That's what I would have him do. Usyk is not a really strong guy. He doesn't have a big punch. Trying to gain more weight is not going to help him because it's going to slow him down. It's going to make him have to work harder. And even though Usyk is known for having good stamina, anybody who you make uncomfortable, there's going to be something different about their approach, and you'll make them more desperate. He knows he has to land some shots to win, so he'll get desperate at some point and start trying to trade with AJ, if need be. He's going to try to land something if he wants to win, okay? And AJ being a counter puncher and having a big shot, I think that if AJ tries to outbox him, just like chess match type thing, he gives Usyk a better chance. I think if AJ goes in there smart, I don't mean bull rush him going in and do a Samuel Peters type style. I mean go in there, back him up, walk him down. You are the big guy. Make him know that. I think if he goes in there and plays chess, not that he can't, not that I don't think he can win in a boxing match, because just like Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns, I think Ray Leonard is the better boxer between the two. But Hearns, being a great boxer himself, fought smart behind that jab and kept it long and did what he had to do, and he had power behind them shots. So even though I feel like Sugar Ray is more gifted, more talented all around, Hearns had enough to where he knew how to fight the way he was supposed to. And Leonard was having problems dealing with that. He's the shorter guy. Hearns is much taller than Leonard. AJ is not as tall to Usyk as Leonard is as Hearns is to Leonard. But he fought the way he was supposed to, keeping it long, using his height. And I just feel like for you to go in there and chess match with Usyk is just giving him a better chance to stay in the fight. And pretty much, I don't see him just landing a bunch of shots on AJ and AJ letting him get that off and not going to knock this guy out and try to get him out of there. You never know. You got to see the fight to see what happens, but this is just me. I certainly wouldn't go backwards and have this guy. I mean, you want to give him different looks, cool. Throw him off his game plan, but that jab would be consistent. And if he is working on that cardio and he does it the way he's supposed to, that jab is going to be the key. It's going to control the distance. It's a power jab, and it's going to make Usyk very leery of trying to leap in. But he's going to have to go for it. Usyk is not a bitch. Usyk is no punk. He's going to try to win. Usyk is going to try to pull out whatever he knows how to do. But AJ, being the bigger man, the stronger man, okay, and let's not get it twisted. It's not like Usyk has lightning hand speed, you don't see the punches coming in. No, he has quick hands, but I don't see his speed really being a problem for AJ. I really don't. And I think that if AJ fights the way he's supposed to fight, I think he walks to Usyk. Now, like I said, if he goes in there and gives Usyk respect and treats him like, hey, you're that guy, then yeah, he gives him a better chance to stick around when he could have just and flattened him. Not that Usyk, like I said, Usyk is no pushover. He's no bitch. But what I'm saying, AJ has everything. He has every tool in his shed. So if that cardio, if he can go in there and do those 12, look, he moved a lot in the Ruiz fight. Jab move. I think he needs to be a little busier than he was in the Ruiz fight, because the difference in that is he fought on the back foot. But so we know his stamina got better. AJ is better as a fighter, period. But people, like they want to hold this. They keep talking about the Andy Ruiz fight like that was his last fight. We saw Vladimir Klitschko go through the same thing when he got knocked out, and by Layman Brewster, by Corey Sanders, and then 10, 11 years go by, and then every single fight, every year, every single fight that Klitschko had, Jim Lampley or one of them, tonight looking at the fight, the telling the tape, and this and this and this, and keys to victory, and this and this and this and this, and Klitschko has a suspect chip. Every single fight. You go back and look at Klitschko's history. He lost to Corey Sanders and Layman Brewster, who I don't know, remember the order who beat him first. I think it was Sanders that got him first, then Brewster got him. But if you look at that, he's winning fight after fight after fight after fight after fight after fight for years. And there's still every fight, suspect chin, suspect chin, suspect chin. And it's like, look, AJ has grown as a fighter. He's the two-time unified champ. I even, heard people asking questions like, if AJ loses to Usyk, does that prove that he is not in the same class as Fury and Wilder? First off, that's really a backwards ass question. Think about this. In a sparring match, Fury admitted that AJ put it on him. Okay, and that was sparring, right? But still, he put it on him. Doesn't matter, right? Because didn't we hear that Fury was getting beat up by sparring partners in preparation for Wilder, and everybody lost their shit and talked about how the sparring partners is putting it on him, and that's why he's pulling out the fight. So why is it different if when AJ put it on him, right? Here's my thing. Fury and Wilder never fought Usyk. So let's just say, for example, if Usyk did beat him, but let's say Usyk fought Wilder, then beat him, then fought Fury, then beat him, then what did that prove? So it's a backwards question, because it'd be different if Fury and Wilder beat Usyk and then AJ lost to him. Doesn't matter, styles make fights or no, it doesn't matter. You win, you lose. Bottom line, okay? Usyk, like I said, is no pushover. He's a tough guy. He has heart. He's going to come and fight. Just like, AJ. People are, AJ's not the same. Oh, I think AJ's going to go in there and run. All of these things that people are saying. I'll wait for the fight to happen. We see how it's going to go. I can't promise anybody AJ's going to go in there and fight the way I'm saying that I would have him fight, or how I would, approach the fight. But at the end of the day, it's boxing. That's what we tune in to see. What's going to happen. But I just don't see. If you watch, look, you saw Usyk versus Derek Chisora. The Derek Chisora, super slow. Wild shots, desperation shots. Couldn't quite catch up to him. If you watch that fight, look at how slow Chisora is. And he was just coming in a straight line. And Usyk backing up and moving. Usyk moves, and he's used to moving when he fight bigger guys. That's just his style. He likes to move. He's not going to stand up there and try to trade with AJ. He'd be foolish if he did. But he likes to move. As slow as Derek Chisora is, his feet and his hands, AJ is much quicker than Derek Chisora. Way better jab, better fighter all around. And if AJ is pushing him back and making him do more than what he wants to do. So you have to use your smarts to tire people out. You have to use your smarts. It's more than just throwing punches. Everything I said, I use my jab. I back him up. Remember how George Foreman used to jab, and he throw his jab from his waist, right? He throw that jab and boom, boom, those clubbing shots, and he push you back and walk you. AJ has more speed. AJ can if they're working on these things, and there's no way for you to, there's no reason for you to let this smaller guy come up to your world, and you give him that kind of respect to where you're not imposing your size. You're not using that jab. You're not following up with that right hand. You're not moving him back, making him respect you. When he goes to leaping for those shots, AJ is a solid counterpuncher, and AJ can time you. He can fight on the inside, and like I said, it's not like there's some huge difference between hand speed with these guys where like AJ's not going to be able to cope with his speed. I don't see it that way. If I thought that would be the case, that's what I'd say. But I would have him go in there and show I'm the big dog. I'm going to chase you around. I'm not going to chase you around like, no. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to make you back up. I'm going to make you move more than you want to. I'm going to make you throw desperate shots. I'm going to make you come in here and realize that for you to win this fight, you got to throw more punches than you ever did. You got everything. And like I said, if AJ has the stamina to do it, there shouldn't be a problem. Like we always say, that everybody always styles make fights. Well, if you look at their styles and look at what they both bring to the table, looking at what I just said, I'd have AJ doing. And trust me, when you double and triple jabs, you notice how fighters, they see, I was always taught to move my head even when I jab. Don't just jab straight. Move your head. Stop being in the same place all the time, right? Fighters don't do that. They stop doing it. But I definitely wouldn't have AJ in there on the back foot. Like I said, if Usyk is playing a chess match and he's not committing to anything, it doesn't matter if AJ is the stalker. We know what Usyk wants to do. He wants to move. When he throws his jab, when he lunges in with those shots, when he tries to throw these combinations and try to steal around and move, everything he does is to land shots. It's not to knock you out. It's to land shots. Remember when Muhammad Ali fought Jimmy Young? Ali was the one you always seen dancing, right? Moving. And they're chilling. He's clapping his hands, moving, hands down, slipping punches with his hands down. And then all of a sudden, we seen Jimmy Young make Ali come after him. Made Ali look real desperate. Sticking his head under the ropes and all that. You could see the frustration. Ali wanted to get him, and Ali couldn't catch him the way he wanted to. This is what I mean about making someone fight different. So, as far as Usyk stalking AJ, I just can't see that. And if AJ goes in there and lets Usyk fight him like you're the big man and I'm going to move, wrong strategy. But we'll see what happens come fight night. And Usyk, he has to. Usyk needs to move. And the same thing, he needs to move, stay out, on the outside, throw shots to the body, give him angles, you know what I'm saying? Give him lateral movement. When AJ tries to catch him, he needs to, because AJ can counter. So it's going to be somewhat of a chess match at some points in that fight. And I feel like what Usyk needs to do is move and throw his punches on his angles. And when he throw those quick shots, throw it on the angle. Spin off of AJ, move, pow. To the body, move. Those shots, 2, 3, 4 shots, move. Go to the body. You can't let AJ get comfortable. You can't let AJ get to the point where AJ is just like, okay, I'm going to walk you down. No, he has to move. And as AJ's coming in, he has to give AJ angles. Don't punch when you think don't same way, not to be predictable, but don't punch the way you normally do. That's what he's going to be training for. So when he's throwing his shots, pow, combinations, get in, get out. See, you got two boxers, and this is what you got to understand. You got two boxers fighting each other. The difference is one is really strong. The other one isn't. It's more, I have to really catch with a lot of shots. AJ has more advantage than people really realize. But it's how you use your tools. We already know what Usyk has to do. It really comes down to what AJ does different. In all honesty, what AJ does. Because there's no way I'd let Usyk little ass walk me there. There's no way I'd let this guy come in here and fight me like he's the big man. Like I said in the previous video, you never seen nobody back Mike Tyson up. I mean, you seen him get cracked by Holyfield and retreat. I'm talking about stylistically, just make him fight on the back foot. You never seen that. Remember when Julio Cesar Chavez lost to Frankie Randall? And remember they started training with him and started trying to have Chavez bouncing around and dancing on the, fighting off the back foot. Remember how funny that looked? Like, the fuck? Chavez dancing and moving? And what happened as soon as Chavez started getting punched in his face? He resorted right back to what he knew. He wasn't comfortable fighting on the back foot. AJ knows he can. Usyk knows he can. The difference is, walking AJ down is dangerous for Usyk. Walking Usyk down is what AJ should be doing. So even though you got two boxers, it's still not like they can both just do the same things the same way. They're going to have to give each other different looks, and they're going to have to be consistent with switching up and, not letting the guy, not making it easy to be found. But if when you're the bigger puncher, you can box. You got a good big boxer versus a smaller, a small good boxer. So you got to fight to your strengths. Lennox Lewis was a guy who got on the back foot if he needed to, but Lewis pretty much stood right in front of you. Once Lewis started leaning forward and dropping his lead hand, he already figured you out. And this is what we want to see from AJ, him showing that he's that comfortable. Not so much dropping his hand, but I mean like fighting the way he needs to fight. I don't mean trying to copy Lennox Lewis. I mean fighting the way he needs to fight, because you approach each fight differently. So just looking at the two and what they bring to the table, I feel like if AJ does what he's supposed to, he'll walk through Usyk. Even if Usyk puts up a good fight, which I expect him to, but I feel like if he does what he's supposed to, he'll walk through him. Now, if AJ was limited, like take a guy like F.A. F.A. has the power. Like if he connects right, yeah, you picture Usyk going to sleep, right? But F.A. hasn't shown he knows how to cut off a ring. F.A. is easy to hit, and F.A. is careless on defense often. Leaves himself wide open, especially when he throws his jab. He's just wide open and he's flat-footed. Usyk would be able to outbox a guy like F.A., and the best chance F.A. would have is to knock him out. Compare Wilder, right? Compare Wilder to Usyk. Usyk is better than anybody that Wilder's ever fought. I expect him to be able to outbox Wilder easily. Now, does Wilder catch him with the right hand and knock him out? He can. He has the power. Usyk has a chin. So, nothing's guaranteed, man. Compare Fury. Because think about this, before I get to Fury. The way Wilder fights, he keeps distance. Wilder likes to keep his arms out. He likes to keep it long just to keep distance. Sometimes Wilder jab to the body, he'll move. And Wilder is he's not a witty type boxer. So it's not like you're going to get combinations from Wilder. It's more like he's just trying to get distance. He's watching. He's looking at you. He'll glance down at your feet. He's trying to get positioning to when you square up or you at a certain point. There it goes, the left hand, and the right hand follows. With Usyk's skills, he'll be looking for that shit. He knows it's coming. And Wilder starts off the fight throwing the right hand. Now, if Wilder is able to actually execute and do anything different from what we've seen in the past, let's just say, for example, if Wilder has actually become a better fighter, right? Let's just say your boxing IQ and you just learning. Okay, you just learning to finally start doing basic things. Your boxing IQ, this is where you realize how good you're not. Because your boxing IQ, like for example, Wilder saying Malik Scott didn't really teach him anything. All he did was brought it out of him. With or without Malik Scott, you would not get outboxed by Gerald Washington or Duhaupas or any of those guys if he actually was as good as they're claiming he is now. So even if he, let's say if he did get better, still in all, his best chance to beat Usyk would be landing the right hand. You don't fight, become 34, 35 years old, not used to throwing combination shots with punches coming back at you with the lava. But I don't care about hitting mitts and hitting the back. I don't care about that. Usyk is naturally a boxer. He's not going to outbox Usyk. Imagine that. You're going to train with Malik Scott for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden you're going to outbox a natural boxer. Nah. He doesn't have to worry about big power from Usyk. What he has to worry about is angles and not being able to catch Usyk like he need to. Not being able to cut him off and counter with the shots that he need to counter with. Wilder's going to keep it long. And the problem is Wilder, like I said, he right from the very beginning, he's throwing the right hand. Wilder has not shown us, we haven't seen him fight yet since he's been, with his new trainer. We haven't seen him throwing body shots, throwing combination shots, cutting the ring off. We haven't seen any of that. So until we see it, it's just what if. So looking at what Wilder has done and what we've known for him to do, he's only going to beat Usyk if he knocks him out. And we know that Usyk does have a beard, but we also know that Usyk is a sharp, smart boxer. But Usyk does have a tendency to leap in, because he's shorter than especially when he's fighting a guy that he's shorter than. He has a tendency of leaping in, and when he does that, that's when he gets caught. He leaps in, and Wilder catches him with that right hand, it could be night-night. Same with if he gets caught by AJ, same thing. It could be night-night. Now imagine him fighting Fury. You have two boxers, but one that's really heavy, really tall, versus a guy that's not that heavy, especially for his height, but much shorter reach, shorter in height, but can move more. Fury can box. Fury has played the role of, he learned, like he could walk Wilder down, for example. Wilder doesn't know how to move, though. Usyk does. He'd have to. I don't see him knocking Fury out. For him to outbox Fury, same thing, angles, movement. And the thing is, he has to do this because his smaller size, his shorter reach, he can't stand there and just bang with these guys. Now, can he beat Fury to the punch? Can he land the shots that he needs to effectively? These are things that we want to see. But matching these guys up, it will be very interesting. Hopefully the heavyweight division can get it together, because you don't stay young forever. And before you know it, man, these guys already be past their primes, and it's new heavyweights coming in, and we'll be doing videos going, remember when Anthony Joshua was fighting, when this guy was fighting, and Wilder was fighting, and it's a whole new batch of fighters coming in. So, we don't know what's going to happen, especially with this Bridgerweight thing and all that. I haven't heard anything when it's going to actually be in effect, who's actually fighting, who's going to be in this category, ranked amongst these guys. We'll see. But the strategies, I think, for Usyk and AJ, of course, listen, I'm always going to pull for AJ when he fights. But I just want to see a great fight, regardless to who wins. May the best man win. And at the end of the day, ain't that what we want in boxing? Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.